27th. I'm gonna start talking to myself, people. It's okay, I work from home. I don't get to talk to anybody. June 27th. We're on Not the Spider today. Woo, she's a hot rod. Close this down, maybe it won't be so loud, but it probably will. Like I said, June 27th, we are leaving the base. That's my base. Never served in the military, but I tell that to my wife all the time. That's my base. You need to stay off of it. It's Randolph right there. And this is the flight line for the jets that fly over our house. And then the other flight line is for the prop planes. Yeah, kind of cool. I don't think we're not going to catch one landing. It'd be cool. It'd be cool. And what I am doing is, well, you know, let's talk about this bike, because this is my economy bike that I'm going to be riding a lot more if I gotta like run to the base to pick up my medicine, you know, something small that I can throw in a backpack, or if I get like a tank bag, you know, something like that. Oh, pull the clutch in, downshift, right? And then you hit your front brake, because I'm on the back brake the whole time. And then don't forget to put your feet down and make sure the cars behind you stop and not run into you, right? That's the same thing on the Spider. We make sure cars don't run into us, but putting the feet down. And shifting gears is no big deal, because my F3, it was an SM, so you had to shift gears in that thing. It wasn't the electronic shift. But yeah, this is my 2019 CSC TT250, and you're probably wondering, is that a Yamaha TT? No, this is a CSC. It's a Chinese motorcycle. I think I had it delivered under $3,000. It's a little, ooh, look at this. It's coming. The trains are coming. I had it delivered under $3,000 to my house from California via China. I have a whopping, oh, cars are stopped. Those are how they transport all the Toyotas that are built down here, are in those. So it's just gonna go and go and go and go. So yeah, I have like no miles on this thing. I have 1,772 miles. Compare that to my 2020 Can-Am Spider, I'm up over 30,000. So I don't ride this thing a lot. Now it has had a pretty hard life. I bought it so I can ride in the dirt with my buddies with their dirt bikes. I didn't get a dirt bike because I needed something with electric start, because I didn't realize I had hip issues and I couldn't kick one of those things over. But now I know I have hip issues. I don't have the strength in that leg to kick a dirt bike. Voila, dual sport. Love my electric start. So I had to do a lot of work to this thing here lately. So I have knobby tires. Oh, and like I said, hard use. Downshift. We're going fast. We're not going fast. Yeah, we're not going fast. I had to put a lot of work in this. Well, no. I don't know why I can't think today. So hard use. I bought it to ride in the dirt with my buddies. It's been down a couple times. That's why it has so few miles. I didn't really ride it on the street that much. I enjoy riding this bike. It's a lot of fun. It's super slow. So everywhere you go, you're just wide open. Like legit. I'm not wide open now, but there we go. I went wide open. But I'm in a really tall gear too. So it has knobbies on it. Not DOT approved tires. Department of Transportation. These are made for mud. They are Michelin 5 Cross Star Superstar 5s. I don't know. It made for the dirt. And I was talking to my wife, the gorgeous Debbie, and I was like, you know, I think I'm going to upgrade the tires to, you know, more street tire. That way I can ride it a little bit better. So I started looking at tires, right? That's what we do. And I went out to the garage one day and the back tire was flat. These are tube tires. And I was like, well, there's no better time now than to replace the tires. That's all I was going to do. And as I sigh, it took it took a direction I was not expecting it to take. I work on my Spider all the time. I've worked on this thing. It's no big deal. I removed the airbox out of this and put different filters on it. The airbox was melted because I have an aftermarket exhaust on it. It was a little too close because it's Chinese and nothing fits properly. So I removed the back tire. Now remember, 17,730 miles. Remove the back tire, remove the front tire. I decided to do the work myself because the local shop wanted $200 to switch the tires. That's it, switch tires. And I was like, no, I've got spoons. I work on my stuff. I can do this. Well, apparently this fat guy from Texas via Ohio cannot replace a tire with a tube in it. I pinched 2 tubes before I finally got it. And it's like, when I mean I pinched them so bad in so many different places that you could not just patch the tube and put it in, because I would have. So I go to put the back tire, after I get the tire on there on my 3rd attempt, and I'm driving the axle in, and I see that it's pushing the left bearing out, and I'm like, wait a minute, what in the world is going on? So I pull everything back off. Well, apparently the right wheel seal over the bearing, at some point in time, it came apart, right? No big deal, but it destroyed that bearing via me riding it in the dirt and the mud and the water. Even though it was only a few times, it destroyed the bearing. So now we're doing a bearing swap, right? So I get a hold of the manufacturer, I get 2 bearings, and I get a seal and I get a spacer. I don't get the seal that took a crap because it is on back order with no ETA. That's right, no ETA. So you can get the measurements off the seal, how big around it is, how big the center hole is, and how far down it sits. So I got those, and I jumped on all of these websites, and it was gonna be like $30 for a stupid seal. So I was like, let's just check Amazon, found the seal, right? So now I have all the bearings, I have the seals. In the meantime, I was putting the front, I said screw it, I'm not even changing the front tire. The front tire is still that tire that shouldn't be on this for the street. But I'm like, I want to ride my bike. I'm not waiting. Like I said, Chinese bike. I go to put the front caliper bolts in, and the bolts are like made from soda cans, and I actually strip them. Not only do I strip the bolts, I strip the caliper bracket. So now I'm putting a brand new front caliper on this thing. The good news is it comes with front pads, right? And I got 2 new bolts, and the bolts are different. Imagine that. They look like a decent bolt. We'll see. So I took my time, made sure I put everything on by hand, and we're gonna go through Cibolo. I could have went in a different way, but we're gonna go this way because I like this little town. This is kind of the town that we live in, even though we don't live in this town. Does that make sense? So now we have a brand new front caliper. Now remember, I'm just going to change tires on this thing. Now we have 2 tires I've ordered, rear bearings, rear seals, rear spacer, and the front caliper. I go to put the rear caliper on it, and one of the pins is frozen. I try to lube it up, but it still sticks on that side. So now I need a new caliper on the rear. But I'm like, hey, I need rear brake pads. So why not? Let's get the caliper. It comes loaded. I got it. And I actually had to get it for a different model, right? So one thing about these Chinese motorcycles, they come in various different names. This one is a CSC 250. The other one's a Hawk 250. You might have heard it. The only difference between this and a Hawk is this has adjustable front forks and it has a better shock on the back. Everything else is the same. I think this had like an extra horsepower. I don't know how they came up with that. So in the meantime, my wife is like, do you need to buy anything else for that bike? Because I think she's getting tired of me dropping money in my brand new 5-6-year-old bike with 1,700 miles. So a tire change turned into 2 tires, 3 tubes, front caliper, rear caliper. But hey, I got all the brake fluid flushed too, which I need to do on the Spider. So yeah, so she asked me, with everything that I've done to this thing, is it worth buying, you know, a so-called cheap Chinese bike? My red light still on? I think it is. So I guess if you would buy this, it would be a Honda 250, blah blah blah. You're probably looking $5,000-$6,000. I do not have that kind of money in this thing. Like I said, I only have a couple $100 with calipers and all that. Would I buy this bike? You know, I don't know. I love this bike, don't get me wrong. It's a really cool little bike. It gets 80 miles per gallon. You know, it does everything I need it to do. I can't take it on the... Oh, and I put a rear sprocket on it. Put a rear sprocket on it, and they said the factory chain works, and it does. But it also doesn't, because it takes it all the way to the end of its travel on the swing arm. There you go, people. So then I had to get a chain breaker thingy and take a couple links out. So we got a bigger pulley so it can go faster, but it's slower. Greater top speed, but it's slower getting there. Go figure. But it makes it better to drive on the road. I'm not riding in the dirt anymore. So sprocket, chain brake, chain lube, chain cleaner, 2 seals, 2 bearings, a spacer, and a set of loaded calipers on a tire change. Yeah. I don't know. You can tell the quality of this thing once you start working on it. You're like, wait a minute. Like, so the bracket's super thin. Right, the caliper bracket's super thin, and all they do is thread. They put threads in this bracket that's 1/8 of an inch thick, 2-3 millimeters thick. So it doesn't take much to pull the threads out of it. I mean, they didn't even put in like you know, they could have put in like a captured nut, you know, something with some heft to it, but no, it's just super soft. Why is that dude right on me? Something super soft, and then the bolt they used, I mean, but it was my fault for over torquing too. So I don't know. Would I buy one of these again? I'm super cheap, you see, and I gotta think about that. I'm gonna say no. No, I don't think I would. The motor runs decent. Like I said, I've removed the air box and I've just put on filters, just like a little cone filter right off the carburetor, and then I went ahead and jetted the carburetor up a little bit since I took the factory air box out of it. And then this does have emissions stuff on it, believe it or not. So instead of it just going into the air box, I've capped them with filters. But I left a charcoal canister on it, so it's pretty much almost, you know. Ooh, you hear that? We were winding it out. But it runs good. And you know, it should. It has only 1,700 miles on it. But what it does is it keeps it. I love my Can-Am Spider, right? And I'm never going to go to 2 wheels over my Can-Am Spider, if that makes sense. But it is a talent to be able to ride and ride proficient. You know, so what I mainly ride this for is a road I'm not going to take my Spider down. And if I keep you long enough, you'll see the road that takes me to my house is just straight junk. And I don't like taking the Spider on it because I keep bashing the front end. And my truck gets, well, I mean, it tells me an average So since it's been brand new, it's averaged 15.6 miles per gallon per the truck. Is that true and accurate? I couldn't tell you. Is it more or less? So this thing gets 60 to 80 miles per gallon, so that's why I'm going to start using this more. And, you know, I do like riding it. Someone came up with a bright idea naming that Bright Road. It's so bumpy. And I got my new camera, so I don't know how good the stability works on this thing. But these roads are so bumpy. And then I put some more preload in the back shock because I'm a big boy and it's sprung kind of soft, right? And then I adjusted the little adjusters on the forks. I don't know if you can see them. The little adjusters. I just ran them all the way down. Get a little preload. It's sprung super, super soft. And I don't know how accurate the speedometer is now. I'm going to have to mount my phone and do a GPS check. It says we're doing 55. I don't know if I am or not because I changed that rear sprocket. I got no clue how fast I'm going. I went from a 50-some tooth, 52 tooth, down to a 45 tooth. So it was a big jump. I'm assuming it gave me 7, 8, maybe even 10 miles per hour on the upper end. And it has enough, you know, I can ride it in traffic. I don't think I want to take it on 35. That's Interstate 35. I would probably just literally get run over. Oh, what's going on there, buddy? You got me a motorcycle. Ready? Oh. Wide open. It doesn't matter downshifting or not. Here's where the road gets very exciting. Ooh, I locked up that back tire. Oh, look, we caught up to it. Man, I don't know about riding one of those in Texas. You know, you don't get the comforts of a car or the air of a bike. So you're just gonna sit out in the sun in a seat baking. I don't know. I don't know. They probably handle like a go-kart, and I can see why people get them. But I don't think I would ever. I like my Spider too much. I was gonna say they gotta be turning because they are like just uber slowing down here. Open house, anybody? Oh, she's wide open. Still wide open. See what I say? You just go and ride. They are definitely like taking up the whole road. Yeah, I mean, everywhere you go, you just ride this thing wide open. It is not quick. Like 16 horsepower, and it might have a little bit more. I have a complete exhaust head pipe and everything. Just fall down that road. And see, the Spider would just be bashing its nose through here. All of this, just bashing, and you know, that's a drop. It's like a foot drop down into this, a foot drop. It falls on its face in 5th gear, huh? There, we'll just keep it forward and wind her out again. See? See why I'm not gonna bring my Spider down here? You gotta go super slow, and you really gotta move around. Like, driving the truck down through here, it's like, oh my goodness gracious, people. No, that was a big bug. And then all they do, so this used to be just country and cows and whatever. So when they come in to build, they just fix the road right in front of where they're building, right? And now we go up the hill and it says, hey, you can't see, and then boom, it goes back to crap. Like, oh my goodness, crap. And that's why when we were over in Converse, I was just so pissed off all the time, because all the roads were just junk. Neutral. Neutral. Me. Ready? We're pinned. I shifted 8. It can go a little bit more, but I short shift. She is slow, people. But it's an awful lot of fun. And when you come on base, you have to be in long sleeve, and it's hot out, so I had my sleeves like this, and the guy walks up and goes, listen, I want to tell you one thing. And I'm like, yeah, and I start pulling my sleeves down. He's like, yeah, make sure your sleeves are down when you're on base, because they will pull you over for that if they see you. So it is no joke on base. That's why I'll always behave, because that's all I need is for them to call my wife, and she finds out I was being bad. Big bump. We're going. Where's the non-bumps? See, you can't even go through here without hitting the bumps. So hopefully you like there we go, we'll stay up here on this stuff. The ramblings from a fat guy in New Braunfels on his little Chinese motorcycle in the back roads of Hill Country, Texas. Ooh, I barely got off the seat on that one. I'll let everybody go from here if you could. Give me a big old thumbs up, everybody. Stay safe. I'll see you down the road.